Hey guys, it's Chopsticks here, and I'm doing a tutorial video today on Brawlhalla, and more specifically Brawlhalla Scythe. And I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can improve your Scythe that will hopefully be able to get you into Diamond or higher if executed correctly. Without further ado, I'll show you my tips. Okay, so first on my list, one of the most vital, important, but also basic things about Scythe is general follow-ups and reads. And what I mean by this is how your attacks can lead into longer strings and combos based on dodge reading your opponent. And I think this is really the essence of Scythe. This is why Scythe is annoying, this is why Scythe is hard, this is why Scythe is considered broken or not broken or annoying. Everything to do with Scythe is the fact that you read. And unlike with other weapons like maybe Lance, where you've got one option for a dodge, like sidelight Sare if they dodge up and away or something like that, with Scythe, due to all the different aerial attacks and different directional input options, everything becomes slightly more advanced. And it's really important that you are able to develop your follow-ups and reads, especially as your skill increases. It's really important. And you want to go from a stage of knowing what's the best follow-up to do from an attack. So for example, if, like I'll show you in this clip, if I do a sidelight with Scythe, then what I want to do, if they dodge away, is dash towards and do another sidelight, because you can follow that up with a D-light and it's still true. So, and that has the highest damage output as a string. And another example, if you do a soft sidelight which hits up at the end and they dodge up, the best option is to do a jump and a nair, which you can follow up with a Sare, and it's true. Stuff like this is essential, to be honest, when it comes to Brawlhalla. It's really important that you get this right. Once you know the right follow-ups to do, you want to be able to do it in terms of reaction. So you might notice in the background footage I have playing, I'm not, understanding how my opponent is playing and guessing where he's going to go. I'm watching what movements he does and I'm trying to follow it and react in time. And this is really important with Scythe. If you can master this skill, you're so set. You won't have any problems climbing elo, but it does take a lot of time and practice and dedication. You need to be able to really have fast reaction speeds, because you're watching what dodge they do. That's not hard to tell. If you're playing a game ranked, you're focusing. That's not the easiest thing. But if you can get it down, trust me, it's so worth it, and your skill level will just skyrocket, especially with Scythe. Now, the second point out of these 5 Scythe tips is committing to offstage strings. And although this is quite short and it's easy to talk about, it's just as important as the other 4 points. And this is purely because with Scythe and all of its string capabilities, people are going to get overconfident with their combos, going to try and get a 0 to death off stage, and that's completely fair. I do the same a lot. I will commit into trying to hit someone all the way into the blast zone. But with Scythe and also its recovery, you can never really be too careful. And I say this because there's been a lot of occasions where and I know it's quite a common thing, if you overcommit on a string or a combo and you can't make it back, and they do, you've lost a clean stock, or what could have been a clean stock. Say you've got them on red, you might have had an advantage that's just completely gone. And this is really important to consider. When a lot of people don't know this actually, but in Brawlhalla, if you hit your opponent, you give them a dodge, or no, you give them a jump, sorry, And if they haven't used the jump yet, and you've got them near the blast zone, but you've used 4 to carry on your string and a recovery. No, not 4, sorry. You've used 2 jumps and a recovery to try and get your string. They can easily make it back to stage, no problem. They can recovery, 2 jumps, a dodge, they're back on. You're not getting back on stage. And this is a real game killer sometimes. For me, it does happen quite a bit, although I'm a bit cautious now because I'm kind of nearing peak diamond, peak plat elo, almost diamond. So I have to be more aware about this type of thing. But you can never be too careful, and I would strongly advise anyone who's playing Scythe, try and advance your strings and combos off stage, but never ever overcommit. It's the worst thing you can do. Okay, so third on my list, dodge retraining. This is something I wouldn't say is necessarily important, but helpful, definitely helpful. And it will increase how fast you're improving, without doubt, because there's only so much you can do by playing games, although it's a very important thing. Going into training is really underrated. And as you can see in the clip behind, I've gone into training, so I've gone offline training, I've chosen my maps, and I've gone into my game settings, bot settings, and I've chosen random for my dodge reaction, but I've also put on health reset on timed. And this is quite a niche little thing I like to do, and it's how I practice my dodge reactions and reads. And I basically challenge myself to kill the bot before he has time to reset his health. And this could be a 0 to death string, although it's quite hard to read every single attack, so you kind of have to be a bit slow with it, as you can probably tell from the footage. But it's really important and really helpful. And stuff like this, I don't know, if you spend 10 minutes maybe before your session just practicing your dodge reads, it will have a huge payoff later down the line, and I can say that with 100% guarantee. If you're in a game and you see them dodge away and you've reacted to that dodge beforehand, you know what you're going to do. And this is a great way to improve. You're not taking chunks of your elo out just to try and get better at your scythe. You're not wasting time in experimental. You're just getting on with it nice and quick. You're not having to wait for an opponent to respawn. It's all nice and easy. So I definitely recommend this, especially if you're really adamant about learning Scythe. It's definitely one of my top tips. Okay, so 4. As you can tell, this probably sounds pretty vague, but it really is that simple, and it's nice and easy to talk about. Playing ranked for any weapon, if you're trying to improve, is essential. It's really, really important, really useful, because you're in that environment where you're under pressure. That thought of gaining elo is kind of driving you to make sure you're going to win, and that pressure is going to kind of stick into your scythe in a way. And it really is just simple as that. As you develop your ranked skill, which would improve every aspect of your gameplay, including how you play your scythe, then it's win-win. You're going to gain elo over time. You're obviously going to have quite a few losses when you're trying to learn the weapon at the beginning, but your end result, you're going to have high elo. You're not going to have any problems. And that's all there really is to say about this point. But it's quite important, so don't forget it. Okay, so my 5th and final point is a bit specified towards how you play Scythe as a weapon, and I don't apply to this as much as other people would, but I think I should. And as you can see, movement and chasing is what I've put down for my point. And as a weapon, I think Scythe is best played when it's aggressive and, you know, your opponent's under pressure, they're having to run away, and you're getting those reads constantly, one after the other, into strings, into kills. into wins. And the most important things to utilize this is movement and chasing. And I think movement in general in Brawlhalla is one of the most developing skills in the game, because you've got, right when you start playing, you're going to be trying to master basic movement and dashing, and as you get a bit more advanced, maybe you're into gold, beginning of, no, not plat, you're in gold and you're trying to figure out how chase dodge works, and you're going to keep on pushing up into plat. You're going to be doing double chase dodge or chase dodge cancels for things like D-Light Dare on gauntlets or other true combos that utilize dash cancelling. And even further up, you might be able to do multiple chase dodges in different directions, which is quite an advanced skill. Even I struggle to do that quite a lot. But my point is, movement is always improving and getting more important. As your opponents are going to be able to evade your attacks better, how are you going to keep up? You need to also be improving your movement. And Scythe, this is one of the most important things. Your spacing is vital, because some hitboxes on some attacks, for example the D-Light, is not very big at all. You need to be able to tell when is the right time to attack and where is the right time to attack. It's very important, because if you mess up your string or you miss hit, you're easily getting punished, and especially if you're in high elo, that's gonna end up in a really bad situation for you, because you're gonna get true comboed, you're gonna be at a disadvantage, damage loss. Nothing is really in your favor in situations like these. So practicing movement is a must, in my opinion. So building pressure on your opponents, try and have an aggressive play style in ranked. Even though it is a bit toxic, it's worth developing, because this type of thing is what can cause your opponents to whiff and go off stage and maybe headbutt the bottom of the stage and lose their stock by accident. And these type of things is what gives you the advantage and the edge in your games. And it's very important. Like all my other points, I personally think this is quite vital. And the reason I said at the beginning is that it's kind of specialized to your play style. Is some people play the slow game with Scythe. They wait for the dodge, and as soon as they see it, they react. And if your opponent doesn't dodge, they basically just wait. And I feel like I play that like that a bit, and I really should get out of that habit. And being aggressive and trying not to worry too much about being punished and just getting the attack out, recovering from the attack, getting out that end frame, and moving on to the next attack, trying to make sure that you get a wake up in. It's very important. But these types of skills, like utilizing chase dodging and chase dodge cancelling, is quite an advanced technique. So I would only really worry about this point if I was in beginning plat or higher. And that's it for my 5 points and my 5 ways for you to improve your Scythe in Brawlhalla. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's the first time I've done something like this with foreign editing and stuff, so let me know if it was to your liking, and I might be able to do stuff like this again in the future. And maybe a different weapon below. If you want to comment, I'll happily delve into it. So thanks for watching, and make sure you stay out for the next one. See ya!